Welcome to day 2 of the Little League World Series from Westfield, Indiana. We're in the Great Lakes region, where today we have already a one-time winner in Michigan taking on a newcomer in Wausau, Wisconsin, and the state champions from Wisconsin. 2 games in the Great Lakes yesterday. Neither were close. In fact, that was typical of the Midwest as well, as Grosse Pointe at 4 in the first, on way to a victory in New Albany, knocked off Kentucky last night 6-1. Greetings, good morning, welcome back to our coverage on ESPN of the Little League World Series. I'm Jim Barber. This is John Gregory, and for Wisconsin, this is a first-time appearance, at least in this situation, from a team that barely got here, was contested on a number of occasions in its state tournament. So what do we make of Wisconsin as it opposes the Beast in Michigan?
Yeah, they're battle-tested, and they're going to be tested against today against this Michigan team that proved yesterday they've got a lot of speed and power on that team. But this is a team that fought through their districts and state to get here. So they've been battle-tested. They'll be asked to do it again today.
John, you brought up the power. Let's go back to the Michigan first yesterday. Home run derby, Reggie Sharp got it started, then Brennan Hill followed, and these guys can swing the long ball.
Well, this is a great way to start the game here. Lift one out of the ballpark, and we didn't see a whole lot of home runs yesterday, but for this team, they certainly showed that they've got the power, and in addition to that, they've got some speed.
This is the guy you like the most in the tournament. This might be your most outstanding player in Jaron Purify.
Well, we're just through one ball game right now, but this guy has showed some pretty good tools. He can field it at third base, he can run, he can throw, and he can hit with power too. So he's got a lot of the tools.
What does his manager say? Even a better player or a better person than he is player. First pitch between Wisconsin and Michigan, and the hot sunshine next. The young man they call Hags, Lucas Hager, on the mound today for Wisconsin. He's also the team funny man and the team leader, as Wisconsin gets set for a very, very difficult opponent in Michigan. And its long ball ability, you saw highlights of moments ago. The good thing about Lucas Hager is he's around the plate a lot, John.
Yeah, when we talked with their coaches before the game, he said that he is a strike thrower, a guy that can compete out on the mound, and sometimes to his detriment, he throws too many strikes out there. You know, you hear effectively wild. He's not one of those guys around the plate, so guys can dig in against him, and he's going to be facing a very aggressive team from the start. As we saw yesterday, Reggie Sharp led off with that home run, so he's got to work down in the count or down in the zone against these good hitters.
Let's take a look at that top 9 of Michigan, which again is table set by Reggie Sharp, who yesterday was 3 for 4 and a couple runs scored. Sharp will lead off, then it's Jaron Purify at the third baseman. He'll bat second. Oliver Service is the left fielder. He'll hit third. Ryan Knable's the center fielder. He will bat fourth. Brennan Hill, the pitcher, swings fifth. Then Preston Barr sixth, Cam Schaefer seventh, and out through the entire lineup. Chase Mazie, the right fielder, gets a start today, eighth, and Jake Martin, the catcher, is ninth. Yesterday, Michigan 10 hits in 23 at-bats and also took 4 walks. The big thing, among other, today is don't give Michigan any free passes or any gifts. This is a team that will fully take advantage. Good to have you with us today as Reggie Sharp, the son of the first base coach, Dr. Reggie Sharp, steps in.
Reggie Sharp.
Good start for Wisconsin, strike one. His dad, a physician in his real life, would like to say, was talking about his son's speed today and said, but you know, when it comes down to me and him, he thinks he's faster than me. He may very well be. But dads, they don't want to give up the ghost.
No, no, and he said, you know, the good thing is there's no video of me out there, so he can't compare.
Yeah.
And so he still has bragging rights as far as that goes. And boy, they can run. He could say, even his dad said, yeah, I can run. I can run a bit.
Related to Olympic champion Henry Carr, who also played for the New York Giants. This is deep in right field, and it is just foul. Otherwise, that would have been out of the ballpark for a home run. Sharp has got terrific power, and he can spray it to any part of the diamond.
Yeah, pretty dangerous leadoff hitter when you talk about that speed combination along with that power. He hit yesterday's home run to right center. This one, he almost hit it over the right field line. So oppo power for him.
Ball and 2 strikes. I would say after day one, Michigan becomes a favorite in the Great Lakes, don't you think?
They certainly have the players.
Reggie Sharp out on strikes. So Lucas Hager, who will throw a lot of strikes, off to a good start, and here's the first punch out.
And good for him. That's the way to battle. And again, we see the strikeout on the high fastball. We saw that yesterday quite a bit with 2 strikes. They elevate that fastball and get guys to chase it.
Well, the team's philosophy is we, not me, and Jaron Purify, the number 2 hitter for Michigan, has picked that up. In fact, he pleasantly surprised his manager and coaches today by hearing about that as he is hit and will take first base. And Purify, great kid, good baseball IQ. Watch him on the bases now, because when you think he's going to take one, he may take 2 or 3.
Number 13, the left fielder, Oliver Service.
Here's Oliver Service, 0 for 1 yesterday, couple of walks and a run scored. Strike one. Early start today for the Michigan team that won last night. But when you talk to manager Kurt Barr, he says, I don't think we'd rather have it any other way. It's going to be hot. Let's play today. Let's win today. Get it over with. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah,
2 strikeouts now for Lucas Hager in the first.
another fastball, elevated in the zone, gets the big strikeout there. Hager battling on the mound after Purify on first base. Tried to throw a curveball to him. It got away from him, got him in the shoulder. Comes back with a nice breaking ball there.
Purify with a steal, second base. As Knable behind in the count, strike one, but now Jaron is in scoring position with 2 outs in the Michigan first. And look at the jump this kid gets.
Wow. You know, that may be that's the first stolen base actual that we've seen that's been where catchers just didn't allow him to go down there, so he can run.
Down the left field line, and Michigan's going to strike first. Ryan Knable into second with a stand-up double. 1-0 Michigan. Didn't take long, John, did it?
No, it didn't. You get a guy on like Purify that can really run, but you can see this too. Nice turn on the inside pitch there. He just yanks that down the left field line, and no question that he's going to score from second base. And Knebel himself, another guy that can run easily in the second base.
Here's Brennan Hill, who homered yesterday. Drove in 3. Had a sacrifice fly along with that first inning 2-run blast. This one is smoked to right field. It's long, it's deep, it's gone. He did it again.
Well, not much to say there. We've just said it from the very top after watching this team yesterday. The power and speed they possessed in that first game is starting to show early here in the second, as Hill just delivers that one over the right field fence, and he knew immediately that thing was out of here.
So he's had 2 home runs and 2 official at-bats, and both have been, no doubt about it, smoked.
Yeah, yesterday that first one he hit kind of just dropped the bat. That one maybe a little bit more in doubt, but cleared that scoreboard out in right field.
Here's Preston Barr, the number 7 hitter in Michigan's lineup. Should mention their other assistant coach, longtime associated with Little League. That's Melissa Henderson, league president. Her position is in the dugout as manager Barr is at third, Coach Sharp at first. Already a 3-0 jump for Michigan. That one smacked to center field. No disrespect to Wisconsin's pitching, but sometimes it looks like batting practice for Michigan.
Well, a team coming in very, very confident, and after that victory yesterday, you can understand why they're confident at the plate today. But again, this is a battle-tested Wisconsin team. They had 2 wins and 3 losses, gave up 36 runs in their pool play, but were able to come back and win the semifinals and the championship game.
This one coming into fair territory, handled nicely by Keegan Jerschley. But Brennan Hill has 2 dingers in 2 at-bats. And Michigan off and rolling again, 3-0, as we get to the Wisconsin top of the order.
There's nothing better. Summer forever.
Anyway, John, we saw lefty Brennan Hill, Michigan starter yesterday briefly, through 19 pitches, had trouble finding a strike zone and gave up a couple of hits, but he can clock it in the early or low 70s, so he'll likely have his best stuff today.
Yeah, well, you get that one opportunity to get on the mound, get an inning under you, inning or 2, throw some pitches out there, get a little more comfortable. So you can see him 5'9", good size on the mound. And as you said, this is a guy that can touch into the 70s, so he's got a really live fastball.
Let's take a look at the Wisconsin batting order, and the first 6 of the top 9 have actually been here before. In fact, were here in Westfield last year. Keegan Jerschley leads off, then Taylor Lemansky, R.J. Stroming, and Turner Olson. Caden Worth is in the 5 spot, the pitcher Lucas Hager then. truthers. You'll love watching him. He's only 10 years of age. Jaden Drews and the third baseman, Davis Winter. They've got 3 left-handed swingers in the lineup, but 6 righties against left-handed pitching Hill. In addition to allowing 2 walks yesterday, Brendan Hill gave up a couple of base hits as well. His motion is interesting, John, as he winds up. It's almost like a bit of a hesitation.
Yep, and we saw that yesterday on the mound, too, from his teammate out there, Knable, who threw across his body.
Deep to left field. Keegan Jersley around first. Into second, he's going to try for 3, and it's a sliding triple. Well, that's the way to answer Michigan's long ball with some speed of Wisconsin.
Wow, how about Jersley? He said, okay, I saw you guys play yesterday and take the extra base. This guy at the top of the lineup is just really, really good. Experience from being here last year. Matter of fact, the top 6 guys in this lineup all played on this team last year, and he was not slowing down. They threw behind him, and he took the extra base, exactly what Michigan did yesterday.
Taylor Lemansky hitting in the second spot. Should Michigan have played that any differently to prevent Jersley from stretching a double to a triple?
Well, they take it, so they understand if you throw behind a runner in this little league because these base paths are so short, those guys are going to take that extra base when they're a good athlete, and there's not a better one on this field maybe than what they've got down at third base in Jersley.
Taylor Lemansky played in a tournament at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, part of the Cal Ripken experience. Johnny wanted to let us know in the entire ESPN audience that French fries are not made in France. Do you know why?
Why?
They're made in Greece.
I gotcha.
Ball and 2 strikes. R.J. Stroming, the catcher, bats third. Well, he's certainly not going to contain the Michigan bats, so do you have to get in one of those shootout kind of games, high scoring?
No question about it. You know they're going to score runs, so you have to be aggressive at the plate, and having Lemansky up there, he's the guy. Number 2 spot for him is really kind of a perfect position for him. You get a guy like Jersley on in front of you, find a guy to get him on or get him over, but this guy, he can get him in.
One of Wisconsin's best hitters with a 2-2 pitch. 1 out in the first. Brings up the catcher, R.J. Stroming, as Keegan Jersley remains at third.
Now batting for Wisconsin, the catcher,
Check swing, and he
22,
certainly
R.J.
went
Stroming.
that time. Was fooled on a pitch before that, too, and just missed outside and almost the same location. Good pitch.
Michigan conceding the run the way they're lined up defensively. So any type of contact by Stroming, particularly on the ground, will likely plate the first run unless it's right at third baseman Jaron Purify.
How about Jake Martin behind the plate doing a nice job blocking that breaking ball with Jersel, at third base. Jersley, this guy can score quickly if that ball gets by this catcher, and he's aggressive on the bases, as you can see as he took third base.
By the way, first base umpire is Chris Ekstrom, second base Andrew Kelly. Third base umpire Kevin Southwell, and the home plate umpire Scott Rosenberger. And a shout out to David Snyder, who's been replaced by Andrew Kelly. Had an allergic reaction, had to go to the hospital recently, and he's in the process of recovery. We wish him the best. That one gets away. Runner trying to score, and well. John, you brought up the point about Martin being able to defend that play, but that one was high and wide.
Now you have a chance if the ball's in the dirt in front of you, but one of those that gets away from the big lefty out on the mound, no chance for Martin. Gets a glove on it, but that ball's thrown too hard for him to be able to knock it down in front of him, and Jersley scores easily from third base.
Foul ball, remains 2-2. And actually Wisconsin now is claiming catcher interference on Jake Martin. Coaches, by the way, at third, Jeremy Jersley. At first, Chad Lemansky, the manager. In the dugout is Joe Ackerman. Well, the contention here again with the swing is that there might have been some interference. Now all four will huddle while Michigan has a conference on the mound as well. What did you see, John, if anything?
Yep. Yeah, normally you can hear it, but the batter's reaction, you can see Stroman immediately look back at the home plate umpire, say he caught the glove, and he did.
Umpire challenge. Okay, here is the headset for Scott.
So a challenge is being made. I think you might have heard over microphone, umpire challenge.
Trying to get an indication by Jake Martin, looking at his face and his reaction to it. I think he knows that that was interference.
Dan.
Hey, Scott.
Having played the game, you're pretty much sold on the idea that you can tell by reactions
Oh, sure.
as to what happens behind home plate, because it's very natural.
Yeah, and it happens quickly. It's the first reaction that you see.
I ruled that the batter hit the ball and ruled a foul ball. We would like to check to see if this ruling is correct.
Now the other point was, on the 2-2 pitch, was there contact?
You know what, I'm almost thinking in that case that Stroman's thinking that he fouled the ball off.
Yes.
When it was actually the glove. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. I've been looking to see if there was catcher's interference, but I'm not sure that if he did or didn't foul the ball off because I haven't paid attention.
Okay, they're going to review actually whether it's a foul ball or not. Particularly interference may not be a concern here.
Wow.
But there should be, right?
Yeah, I think if they could see the video replay, they would be challenging whether it was catcher's interference versus a foul ball.
So lengthy start to this game, already 20 minutes for just the first inning. Lots of scoring, and now on a 2-2 pitch to R.J. Stroming. Going to find out what's been determined here.
Yeah, the best situation for Wisconsin would be for catcher's interference. Yeah, yep, looks like he was out in front of that. The catcher's glove is already off there, so.
That's the best replay I think we've got.
Yep. And I think, if I heard correctly, and Wisconsin was just challenging whether it was a foul ball versus catcher's interference.
Well, catcher's interference means R.J. Stroming will take the base. Foul ball, and we play on with a 2-2 count. Whatever it is, home plate umpire Scott Rosenberger taking some time on it. Managers can offer limited or unlimited challenges as long as they keep winning those challenges. They have two, and once those two have been used up unsuccessfully, obviously, they cannot challenge the rest of the way. Typically what we see will happen is the umpires will huddle first before even a challenge is offered, so the challenging coach might get an overrule even before they have to go to television.
Well, they may fail on this challenge to get this foul ball, but I wonder, can you immediately go back and then challenge because you have to? Can you immediately go back and challenge whether there was catcher's interference?
And you say it's pretty obvious. Well, this is the longest challenge we certainly have had in the 2 days we've been here. Won't be the last one, certainly.
First question, was it a tip ball? I don't think so, but clearly it was interference. Right there you can see the catcher's glove come off when the bat hits it. So
this is taking some time.
yep.
And the replays that we provide to you as a viewer are also provided to the umpiring crew. But the rule on interference is clear. And in this instance, the batter would take the base.
Be interesting to see if some of these parents sitting in the stands watching this on ESPN Plus are listening to us and seeing the replays, and they're not going to scream down to the coach, check for interference.
So the question now becomes interference. Can they overrule the original call, which was foul ball, and then accept that as part of the challenge and then rule catcher interference? Because I think they probably are in line with the fact of the replays we've shown that it's fairly obvious. Question is it in the rule book to do it?
Right.
And right now they're checking with Little League officials in regards to that. So it's like a rain delay.
And there you see, you wonder, are they watching this to see if it was fouled off?
On the ESPN app, why not?
If I'm sitting in the stands and I'm a parent, I'm saying, hey, check for interference.
Yes.
Not the foul ball. But, again, the people in the stands, I don't think they realize what they're checking on right now.
Well, it's the beauty of technology, and replay has been demanded at all forms and levels of baseball, and so this is an opportunity to get it right. And still no ruling. So maybe just the clarification of whether they can overturn the call based on interference is the first subject of concern. And you know what? Baseball should have that rule. I mean, if it's obvious that there has been some obstruction or interference, they should be in position to make an overrule here. Again, the official call on home plate, at home plate, was foul ball.
Going back to the count, does it, with a strike, if they considered it a strike, the count is 2-2. Is that correct?
I thought it was 2-2 and a tip and a foul tip.
Right,
how they ruled it.
There wouldn't be an out. We would be debating whether this is just a strike or not.
Right. I mean, if it's not interference, we're going to continue to play it 2-2. But in fact, he made no contact with the ball, so the call probably should have been strikeout or interference. Anyway, Scott Rosenberger, like the rest of the umpires, are volunteer umps. So we don't want to say something like he's earning his pay here because he's really investing his time, talent, and treasure, which we appreciate. Catcher's interference is the official call, but now both managers are going to be clued onto it. And we would assume at this point that R.J. Stroming goes to first base. That's fairly automatic, isn't it?
That's the best outcome for Wisconsin right now.
So R.J. Stroming will take first base. Everything works out correctly. Good job, guys.
But now Kurt Barr, manager for Michigan, is going to come down for a discussion just to make sure he understands what's going on.
No contact made, but the glove did come in contact with the bat. That was not the initial call. The initial call was foul ball, which would have kept the count at 2-2. And by replay, it was apparent that if interference had been made, I don't think Kurt Barr's thrilled about the call, but I think it's accurate.
Yeah, I think they've got the call correct.
So even if it had been a third strike and ruled a strikeout, there was still interference.
I think the only argument that I would think that Kurt Barr has here is, did they challenge that, or did the officials or umpires make a decision that they saw that it was interference and that supersedes, I guess, the strikeout.
And I think you heard the words initially from Scott Rosenberger. This is an umpire's challenge. So I think the umpires, in an effort to get it correct, did. And I'm not even sure that would be a challenge that would be left on to Wisconsin, because it really doesn't matter. It was still successful.
I like the outcome because this having a runner at first base should be what the situation is right now based off of what happened.
Turner Olson, the center fielder, the number 4 hitter of the Wisconsin lineup, is on the dish right now. That was a 10-minute delay, by the way, if you're keeping track of those type of things. Up the middle. Base hit. Runners at first and second now for Wisconsin. Just like Michigan, those bats are alive here in their half of the first inning. By the way, that length of the replay still long short of a long way off of
Wisconsin
the
right fielder, number 3.
Denver
James
Giants
Worth.
Super Bowl replay of some 20 minutes that I saw in Pasadena many years back.
Good job by Olson driving that ball back up the middle. As a hitter, that's where you want to go.
Caden Worth at the plate. Even though Wisconsin, as John had mentioned, gave up a ton of runs in district and state, it obviously scored a lot of runs or wouldn't be here. And so the state champions from Wausau have got some bats. And they're likely going to need it in this game against Michigan. That one fielded by Jeremy Jersley, third base coach, and also the head baseball coach of UW Stevens Point. Second strike on the inning by Brennan Hill, 2 outs.
Mitch, fastball, good location here. We've seen him be able to put that pitch on the outside corner. You can see Martin, the catcher behind the plate, standing up. He wanted that fastball that we've seen so many guys chase up around the letters, but he got it on the outside.
Pitcher Lucas Hager, a chance to help his own cause here with 2 aboard and 2 outs in the Wisconsin first. R.J. Stroming, the base runner at second. Turner Olson at first.
You mentioned those losses that they had in that pool play. They lost to Burlington in pool play, 13-1. Then they came back and beat them. And they beat Appleton National 5-4 after losing 10-3 in pool play to them. So after losing big to 2 teams in pool play, they came back and beat both of those teams in the semifinals and finals. So don't give up on this team.
Brennan Hill gets a punch out though. He struck out the side, gets out of damage. A lengthy first due to replay. Wisconsin does get a run. And Michigan starts with the bottom of its order and Chase Mazie in the top of the second.
For Wisconsin in the home half of the first inning. They score 1 run.
In the Great Lakes Regional, Michigan 3 in the top of the first. Wisconsin with 1 in the bottom of the first. We get to the second. Michigan is defending champions. Also won it back in 2013. Indiana won its game last night, defeating Kentucky, which had back-to-back championships and trips to Williamsport 2015 and 2016. That's the doctor, physician Reggie Sharp, first base coach of Michigan.
Leading off the top of the second inning for Michigan.
Manager Kurt Barrs, the third base
Number
coach,
10,
and in the dugout,
Chase
Melissa Henderson.
Mazie.
Chase Mazie, the right fielder, starts today, hits in the number 8 spot. John, a very entertaining and informative first inning.
That certainly was.
Took about a half hour. We're so used to the fact that team's challenge, but the umpires can go over.
Yep.
Use replay to their satisfaction as well.
Well, you know what? It was a good thing, too, because the outcome was right.
Yes.
Correct call.
Which is the objective here.
Yep.
Two balls and 2 strikes. The number 8 hitter, Maisie. Chase yesterday closed out the game with a couple of strikeouts on the mound. 3rd strikeout of the day for Lucas Hager, 1 out into Michigan's 2nd.
For Michigan, the catcher, number 5, Jake Martin.
Fastball. Hager, we said he's going to be around the plate most of the day. Throws a lot of strikes and gets the big strikeout to start the inning.
Which leads us to Jake Martin, 0 for 2 yesterday, and down a strike. Big hockey fan of the Detroit Red Wings. Have great history in the National Hockey League, one of the original 6 hockey teams back in the day. Spanked to right center field and dropping in for a base hit. Hit number 4 for Michigan. Back to the top of the order, and Reggie Sharp. I'll rely on a phrase you had said yesterday. This team does not get cheated.
No, they don't. I mean, you're talking, and you said it before, it doesn't matter if you're hitting 1st or 9th in the lineup when you're talking about guys that are playing on the edge of going to the World Series. All of these guys can play, but that's the depth of this lineup, and the 9th guy in the lineup delivering base hits out there, so they've got plenty of pop all the way through this lineup.
Melissa Henderson indicating a pinch runner.
Taking over as a special pinch runner at first base, number 4, Marwin Matthews.
And that's Marwin Matthews, who did a lot of that last night. Got his gloves all set. Ready to move around the bases. Reggie Sharp, a strikeout victim in the 1st. Spanked to center field and deep. Gone. 2nd home run for Sharp in the tournament. Michigan's bats alive and well again.
Boy, that kid plays with a lot of confidence. We saw him hit one out to right center field, almost out to right in his first at bat today, and now he gets the pitch inside and turns on it. And watch him take a look at this. He knew right away it was gone. No big bat flip, but he took the time to make sure he watched it go out of the ballpark. And as soon as he made contact with that, everybody in the park knew it was gone.
That is Michigan's 4th home run in 2 games. And we are only in the 2nd inning. Nice job of sportsmanship, by the way, on the part of catcher R.J. Stroming, who on a couple of those home run occasions has actually extended his hand out like a high five. This one dropping into center field, diving catch, no. Good effort by Turner Olson, and Purify, as you might imagine, flying into second base. Should be a hit. So a double for Jaron Purify, his 3rd hit of the regional.
Michigan left fielder.
Great effort by Olson out in center field. The lefty tries to slide and make the catch, and it just kind of comes off his thigh. Very difficult play for him out there. That's why you score that a hit. Made a great effort to get to the ball, just wasn't able to come up with it.
One strike, 1 out, 5-1 in favor of Michigan. Service with a home run cut there. Oliver 0 for 1 yesterday and struck out in the 1st. In the meantime, Purify picked off.
Well, sometimes you can be too aggressive on the bases.
Kurt Barr, by the way, is going to challenge this. Great recognition by pitcher Lucas Hager.
Please keep your children out from under the bleachers. They are partitioned off for a reason.
Wow.
Yes, Purify straight just a little too far.
Yeah.
Then he realized he had to get back in there. Thought he got back in. And Kurt Barr's going to challenge this, saying he did in fact.
Really nice play by Hager as he recognized that. Purify just taking his time getting back to the bag. That's a discussion I think his coaches are going to have with him. As good as he was, I think he was a little lazy on that play, getting back to the bag.
Well, Jared is off the bag and in the dugout, so I don't know if that's an indicator. I'm sure he'd love to sprint back out to second base. There's Hager with the quick release.
Look at him taking his time getting back there. Then he realizes.
Unfortunately, that may be our best look, so we're not up close and personal to give you perhaps a better impression. But Jared has left the second base bag to the dugout. Call on the field is out, picked off by Hager. Now we'll wait and see on his throw to the shortstop, Keegan Jerschley. And the call will stand. So 2 outs down in the inning. Scored pitcher to shortstop. Oliver Service at the plate.
Really nice job. That gets a guy off the bases too that's got great speed for a potential run. So key to get him off of the bags.
Service hard to shortstop. Jerschley tries to recover, but Oliver reaches first base with 2 outs here in the second. He smoked that one.
Boy, and Jerschley did everything right that time except the ball took a wicked hop and came up and hit him in the chest.
For Michigan, number 0.
Hope he's okay. That's a tough kid out there, but boy, that ball was scorched, as you said, and just took a nasty hop.
Would you agree with the scoring on it, which is an error?
No. I mean, the way that ball took that hop. I mean, he had his glove. He was right in front of it, positioned well. And sometimes you just can't do anything about it.
That went down the third baseline and fair by Knable. Good recovery by the left fielder, J.J. Drews, but they're at first and second. And Jared Purify probably would have scored in this inning had these developments taken place. He had been picked off.
Michigan pitcher, number 11, Brennan Hill.
Boy, Knable, you could tell he's comfortable at the plate, too. We haven't mentioned him as much, but he looks really dangerous. He's a line drive type guy.
7 Michigan hits, and it almost looks like this Michigan team, John, is fighting each other just to get off the bench with a bat.
Hitting is contagious, and they've caught it right now.
Here's Brennan Hill, who's gone twice in this tournament. Deep. Now going the opposite way toward left field and dropping, and in there for a hit. One will score on the play, and Brennan Hill now with 2 RBIs, make it 3 in this game and 6 in the regional, and it is now 6-1 Michigan. They hit him long, they hit him short, they blast him in the infield, it doesn't matter.
No, that was fortunate to land in there. Jerschley was right on this. Drew's coming in from left field. I thought he was going to take control of this, and it sounded like, or looked like Jerschley thought maybe he was going to do that. I couldn't hear the communication out there, but the ball falls in there, and another run scores because of that.
So we'll see if Wisconsin's set to make a pitching change. Manager is Chad Lemansky. And he'll take the ball from Lucas Hager after 35 pitches. And we'll take a break. Michigan with 3 in the first, 3 in the second, up 6-1. there's anything else. That's it right now. This is Aiden Vahowiak in relief. Big V. Tall kid, 6'2", 140. 13 years of age on July 21st. Throws hard, and now he'll face his potent Michigan attack with 2 outs in the inning, and Michigan already with 3 in.
Number 15, Aiden Vahowiak.
Well, Vahowiak, you can see immediately the size of him on the mound. Second guy that we've seen listed at 6'2", and he is all of that. When you take a first look at him, you just think, is he going to be one of those guys that can just overpower you?
Right now, indications are he'll hit in the 5 spot for Caden Worth, who comes out and was replaced, at least in position, by Lucas Hager. It's almost like Michigan never went to bed last night. Kept the bats hot.
You know, we were talking about that yesterday. Is that, you know, you win and you have to come back in early and play, but it's like we said yesterday, if you're hitting, you know, if you're hitting the ball well, get out of the cage. If you're hitting it good, you want to get back out on that field as quick as you can. And now, if they can get this victory today, now they get the rest of the day off and don't have to play in the heat. And that's what their coaches were telling us beforehand. So they think they got a good draw here.
Think about it, too. Already 7 batters in the first to the plate for Michigan. Now 8 in the second. Preston Barr, who singled in the first, is at the plate. 2 for 3 in the regional. And bats have not cooled off yet. Runners are at first and third. Ryan Knable at third. Brennan Hill, who has 6 ribbies already in the regional, is at first. Headed towards second base. That'll score a run. 7-1 Michigan. And they now have officially batted around in the second.
Boy, and just another tough hop for Wisconsin defensively. We talk about short hops. Look at this ball. Again, right in a tough position. Tough play for Lemansky at second base. I mean, he gets handcuffed on that ball.
It's ruled an error. Unearned run. 4 in the inning. Cam Schaefer to the plate. 0 for 3 in the regional. And the 9th hitter, John, to bat in Michigan's second. Seven runs yesterday. And Grosse Pointe Woods Shores win. 7 already today. And the wild pitch now will advance runners to second and third. Cam Schaefer just turned 13 years of age. His uncle Chris, professional golfer, makes his home in Farmington Hills. Big fan of one of baseball's purest hitters. Now, I bet he studied his swing a little bit.
Yeah, pretty good guy to study.
I know my daughter has in softball.
Oh, yeah?
Refers to him on tape.
Altuve.
Yeah. Count is 2-2 with runners at second and third and 4 in. Good save by R.J. Storming. Count full. 3-2. No error there, by the way. I think the sun might have gotten in the way.
Yeah, another bad hop for Wausau, Wisconsin.
Aiden Vahowiak in relief. Trying to close out Michigan in the second. Smoke down the third base line, but foul. To the right of the third baseman, to the left of the third base coach. It's amazing. This is a Michigan team that was on the verge of being eliminated in a state tournament. He did score 4 runs in the last inning, that being the bottom of the 6th, and then win it in 8. Strike 3 called. Aiden does his job, but Reggie Sharp got a hold of one, his second in the regional. Michigan now leads 7-1 and to the bottom of the order for Wisconsin in its half of the second. Looking for training and information for coaches, umpires, league volunteers, and parents? Get free backyard tips, practice plans, drills, videos, and more by visiting littleleagueuniversity.org. Jim Barber and John Gregory in Michigan's second, 4 runs, 5 hits, took advantage of a couple of errors, and now through an inning and a half has 7 runs on 8 hits. So Wisconsin's not going to beat them in a well-pitched, low-scoring game. It's going to have to rely on its bats to make an impression here.
First baseman, number 1, True Third.
This is True Thurs, just 10 years of age. Very possibly the youngest player in this regional tournament. Solid player, book on him, great knowledge of the game. Double T. He'll get to 11 years of age later in the month on August 29th. How young is he? Well, he's just entering 5th grade. That's young.
Yeah, it is, especially when you're talking about guys that are 13-year-olds that he has to play against this year. So, but they say he's really coachable too, and that's a good thing. You know, if you're young, just take it all in.
Pretty solid student of the game already at age 10. Trying to get it started for Wausau in the bottom of the 2nd. And he has worked the count to 2-2.
You know, even though he's just 10 too, they've asked him to play other positions that he's not used to. So that's what he's, you know, he's getting to play other positions, which allows him to get better and more confident as he gets older.
4th strikeout by pitcher Brennan Hill. He has recorded all 4 outs by way of strikeouts.
Wisconsin left fielder, number 9.
Ball just kind of dropped on Thurs there. J.J. Drews, the left fielder, now batting. Jaden, a big-time player on this team. Hit well in the district with some clutch batting. And they're going to need a lot of offensive support today. In fact, you think about it, anyone that faces Michigan in this tournament not going to be able to silence the bats completely. There's too much power. JJ out on strikes. That's 5 now for Brennan Hill. It's a different Brennan Hill we see today, John, than we saw yesterday.
Yeah, same velocity, but high cheese. Yep. Got another guy up in the zone swinging through it. He's throwing more strikes today, and he's getting a little bit more help from the hitters on that side. Tough to lay off that fastball, as we've said over and over.
Davis Winter, the third baseman, batting in the ninth part of the order. So is that why they refer to it as cheese? Because it looks good enough to eat, or in this case, good enough to swing at?
The best guy that can describe that, Dennis Eckersley, the Red Sox, listening to his broadcast.
Oh my gosh. Thank goodness for the helmet. Winter says, I'm okay. Everybody will come in to make sure. Wow.
And Hill's going over to ask him if he's okay, apologizing to him. That's, again, sportsmanship right there. You see Hill come over.
First base coach is the manager, Chad Lemansky. And doing a little eye test here. Everything right now seems to be in order. Shaking hands with the pitcher.
That's pretty cool.
Sure. And still, they'll likely keep a pretty good eye on Mr. Winter. And among other things, we've got a doctor in the house. That's the first base coach of Michigan, Reggie Sharp. And Brennan Hill now is going to be replaced on the mound.
Yeah, he's reached 35 pitches, and that puts him right at the point. Throws one more pitch, he'd have to sit out 2 days. Right now, he's just got 1 day's rest. So, want to get him out of that game now with a 7-1 lead.
Tough break for Hill. He doesn't want to be remembered for a hit bat spin in the helmet. He'd like to be remembered for those 5 strikeouts he had. So a look at the day's rest situation, and Kurt Barr explained to us before the game they would be well aware of these numbers, particularly if Michigan got off to a great start, which it has for the second day in a row. So I'm going to make sure that Hill doesn't go any further than he has to with his team up 6. Chase Mazie is now the new pitcher for Michigan. Back to the throwing of Brennan Hill, which was pretty solid.
Now, he said the lefty can get it up there around 70. Once you reach that number, tough to chase that fastball, and that's what Wisconsin was doing, swing and miss. And big day for Hill on the mound.
So Brennan Hill now will move to right field, and he'll be replaced by Chase Mazie, who moves from right to the mound. Both teams now have made pitching changes in this game. And this has been a lengthy one already. We're approaching 1 hour. We're still in the second. Ready to resume play with Keegan Jerschley, who tripled in the first. Came home to score on a wild pitch.
Shortstop, Keegan Jerschley.
That's the first player that Chase Mazie will face.
This Michigan team's happy to have Mazie back. He's a guy that had a broken collarbone. Get him back in the lineup. He inserted him. Hitting today, too, after not starting him yesterday.
One hopper to Jaron Purify, and the overthrow. Runners are moving around. And they'll be at second and third. So, a Michigan error on the third baseman. And now after 2 outs, Wisconsin has 2 in scoring position.
Well, we've done a lot of bragging on Purify, how good of a third baseman he is and all the tools. This one just kind of gets away from him as he throws it up the first base line down into right field, and because of that, now runners on second and third. 2 mistakes for Purify today that you don't typically see him make.
Taylor Lemansky now at the plate with runners at second and third. Good block by Jake Martin. Well, as a team, when you have such a big lead early, do you wind up relaxing a little bit on the bases, either as a runner or as a defensive player when your team is out in the field?
It can happen. That's why you have to be focused all the time.
That one gets away, runner coming home, and he's safe. So Wisconsin has its second run, and Davis Winter, who got plunked in the head, comes home to score. In the meantime, Keegan Jersley on to second base, or on to third, excuse me. That is a wild pitch. Taylor Lemansky remains at home plate. 0 for 1 and a strikeout. Well, his favorite team is the Kansas City Royals. And Keegan Jersley's grandfather, Mike, is actually third base coach of the Royals, who are facing the Cubs tonight in Kansas City. Been a rough year for the Royals. But you don't care. Your Red Sox got 3 in the ninth against the Yankees last night, won an extra inning, swept them in 4.
Yeah, hate to say I turned it off in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, you had a long day yesterday, John, so.
Hated to miss that. When you told me that today,
Thought I was kidding, right?
I was pleasantly surprised.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 2nd. Taylor stays alive.
You can do it. Come on, come on. Stop him, you can do it.
3-2. Martin blocks, runners at first and third. Inning continues for R.J. Stroming. Well, the way this game is going right now, there's still going to be a slew of substitutes by rule. These two teams might be worn out by the time this game concludes.
Well, it's a good thing they're playing early in the day here before that heat of 90 degrees comes today. So, but that's what I like about this Wisconsin team, the way they battle. We mentioned before how they were able to fight through pool play and get to the semifinals and championship, and they're gutty. They are gutty.
Well, you consider, again, allowing a lot of runs in state tournament play and still finding its way to Westfield. The league champions from Wausau. Pitch to RJ. And Martin again doing his best to keep the pitches in front of him. Michigan 3 in the first, Wisconsin 1 in the first, Michigan 4 in the second. Wisconsin has scored 1. Extra base hit would tighten things up nicely. Two balls and a strike. R.J. Stroming reached on a catcher's error, catcher's interference, ruled by TV replay. His last time up on the change. Can't get a hold of that. Good pitch from Chase Mazie. 2-2.
Watch Mazie yesterday seemed to get really clutch pitches, throwing strikes in tough situations. Seemed to be coming back, fighting to do the same today.
Got the corner, inning over. 6 strikeouts now in the game for Michigan pitching. Michigan 7-2, and we go to the bottom of the order, and Chase Mazie again in the third. there be a return trip to Williamsport by this Michigan team? Grosse Pointe Shores Woods puts together some of the best. A young person has other concerns about whether Michigan will be a repeat champ. Can't blame them. Good day for baseball. Temperature now is bumped to 82. Line score: Michigan 7, 8, and 2. Wisconsin 2s across the board. Elliot Niederhood pinch hitting in the 8th spot for Chase Mazie. His favorite quote is, "The only person you should try to be better than is the player you were yesterday."
Well,
it's a good one.
That's right. Get better every day.
Wants everybody to know he's a spelling bee champion too.
Yeah, in addition, in that bio, it says, you know, you have to gain an advantage too every day. And this is a smart player. That's what he said. Work at it always. Tries to find a way to get a little bit better, no matter how he has to do it.
They are playing shallow at all outfield positions, which will be one of the few times you'll see the outfielders this close to the diamond. Especially the way Michigan has been cranking out the hits. Thought yesterday, John, in Michigan's win over Illinois, it was interesting to look at the Illinois outfielders practically up against the fence.
Yep. Well, as hard as they hit the ball, I mean, their reaction to get back there was no way they would have been able to do that. So, you know, you can live by it, die by it too, because the balls can fall in front of you, but trying to take away the big doubles and triples.
This is the first time, despite having scored 7 runs, John, that Michigan actually has put its leadoff hitter on base. J.J. Scheck will be the pinch hitter.
Pinch hitting for Michigan, number 7, J.J. Scheck.
Yesterday, 0 for 1. Hits right-handed, throws right-handed. Coming up, 1 o'clock today in the Great Lakes, Eastern Time, Ohio, and last night's winner, Indiana. At the pace of this game, though, John, that could be delayed.
Scheck's one of those guys that can come off the bench, do whatever. He's one of the most improved guys on this team and works hard at it to get a little bit better. His brother played on the Little League World Series team from last year.
Makes a huge difference to have somebody to refer to.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, you watch him play, you play with older guys, your older brothers, it just makes you a better player.
Great baseball genes for a number of these players here in Indianapolis. Scheck out on strikes. 1 out in the Michigan third. Back to the top of the order, and Reggie Sharp.
For Michigan, the second baseman, number 1, Reggie Sharp.
A fastball swinging right through it.
Reggie Sharp has a 2-run homer in this game. He has 2 home runs in the regional. He is 4 for 6. Has scored 3 runs, driven in 3. Didn't mean to swing. Throws to second base, and in time. Aiden Wahowiak looked as if he was going to throw the first. Apparently felt he had plenty of time and got the throw to get the lead runner at second. There were 2 outs.
I'm surprised how accurate the throw was, because he stepped toward first base and really threw across his body to get it there. Wonder if he realized how fast Sharp was moving down the first base line. Watch, he looks at first and says, nope, better get the second.
It's usually just the opposite. Pitcher looks at the lead base and throws to the lesser of the 2. So,
yeah, he could have still gotten Sharp pretty easy down the first base bag, I think, but he realized, no, I got to get the lead guy.
Here comes Jaron Purify. Hard-working kid, 3 for 4 in the regional. Hit by a pitch, scored, and has doubled in this game. And then was picked off second base. Wild pitch. Reggie Sharp on to second. So he kept his dad company just for a short period of time at first. First base coach. Reginald Dennis Daniels Sharp running at second. Purify with a blast to left field. That will score a run, and here comes Jared on the bases. A triple's almost a given.
Remember we were talking yesterday how deep the outfielders were playing? Well, for reasons like that, because the ball's going to get by you. If it does, it's going to get to the fence. And watch the speed of Purify as he rounds the bases here. Once it gets by that outfielder, Drew's out there, he's thinking 3 all the way. Matter of fact, from the plate, he's thinking 4 if all possible, but easily gets a stand-up triple.
Marwin Matthews now will pinch hit for Oliver Service. On the replay, you saw first base coach Reggie Sharp give him the go sign. Do you think he needed it?
No, he had made that decision yesterday.
Yeah, good point.
Please be sure to return all those foul balls to your dugout. Thank you.
Right side, watch out, right side.
Marwin 0 for 1 yesterday. Headed toward right field. And stabbed one-handed by Lucas Hager. Inning is over. Michigan adds a run on a run-scoring triple by Jaron Purify. And John Purify now with 2 3-base hits in the regional.
In the top of the third for Michigan. 1 run on 1 hit. 1 runner.
Welcome back to Camp Randall Stadium, Madison, Wisconsin. Made famous by the student section at the beginning of the 4th quarter of all Badgers games. House of Pain, the jump around.
That's really, really good.
By the way, if you're wondering about substitutions today, and there are going to be a bunch of them,
For Michigan, defensively,
here are the rules. It's based on the number of players you have at the beginning of a game. You've got 13 or better. Most teams do. Each player must bat once. 12 or less, you have to play and you have to bat. And for some reason, and it's not happened here in Westfield in 2 years, if a manager refuses to insert players if the game is tight, and they say, well, you know, I'd rather go with my best guys, that manager will be suspended for a lengthy period. The reason that is, that happened in one of the tournaments last year. Bottom of the Wisconsin 3rd. Turner Olson leading off. He had a base hit in the 1st.
Come on, you can do it. Really good hit. Good swing, here we go. Okay.
Wausau Little League has not lacked for base runners in this game. Just haven't been able to match the power of Michigan. In the 1st, had a hit, catcher's interference, and another hit. In the 2nd, was able to reach base with a hit batsman, an error, and a walk. 3-1 on Olson.
They've left 4 runners on in this ball game. So you're right, they've had guys in position. And they knew coming into this thing, if you're going to win this ball game, you're going to have to score a lot of runs.
Good start to the Wisconsin third as Turner reaches base for the second time. Aiden Wahowiak was inserted into the 5 spot.
For Wisconsin, the pitcher, number 15.
And he's coming to the plate here to bat in the third.
Wahowiak.
Brennan Hill started for Michigan after he reached the 35 pitch limit. Chase Mazie has come on in relief, and Hill struck out all 5 outs he recorded. Certainly you can score against Michigan. That was proven yesterday and has been today. The question is, can you score enough and can you score a lot?
Yep. To me, that's the one question with this team right now, and I think they have good pitching. That showed with Hill today. That they've got a couple guys on that mound that can throw hard. If they throw strikes, they're going to be very tough out.
And being tough outs right now is exactly what is needed. Ohio and Indiana, 1 o'clock today, same regional. Then on to the Midwest for games at 4 and 7 tonight. This is the first of 4. So after the strikeout, 1 out in the inning. Here's Tyler Ackerman.
Pitch hitting for Wisconsin, number 18, Tyler Ackerman.
Tyler, obviously his first plate appearance in the Westfield Regional. Sometimes we'll refer to this as Indianapolis as opposed to Westfield. It's about a 20-mile difference, just north of the state capital. A lot of kids in their bios refer to it as can't wait to get to Indy. You know what? That's close enough.
Yeah, and why not? Can't wait to get to this facility around here. This is pretty impressive. All these baseball fields and soccer fields. Indianapolis Colts around here, a lot of things to do.
Training camp in full gear right now. Ackerman says his best moment at age 9, he had a teammate that had a game-winning hit, a walk-off, after having no hits all season. That's pretty cool.
Really cool.
1-2. 2 outs in the inning. And all 8 outs recorded by Michigan have been strikeouts. 3 today for Chase Mazie.
Mazie will not overpower you, but as I said before, every time he gets into a situation, backed in the corner, 3 balls, bases loaded, guys on base, whatever he has in him, boy, he just settles down and throws strikes.
Runner going down to second, should beat it. Marcus McDonald now at the plate for Wausau. Had a cute exchange with some of the Wisconsin parents today going over pronunciations. Wausau is the first one you certainly want to get correctly. And one of the parents reminded me how Jersley pronounces his name. We got that straight. I said, well, what about you? She says, well, I'm not a Jersley, I'm an Olsen. That's easy. 2-1. Headed to left field. Stopped by Purify. Over the first. Good play by Schaefer. Inning over. Wisconsin leaves 1, and now for the game is left 5. Halfway through game 1 of 4 today, and Wisconsin trails Michigan 8-2.
The third inning for Wisconsin.
It's the sunshine shining down on your face. It's the good.
Time now for a hometown profile. Wausau, Wisconsin. Approximate population 39,000, 95 miles northwest of Green Bay and Lambeau Field. Famous face Jim Otto, NFL Hall of Fame center. Likely Packers fans in abundance there as the preseason and regular season comes upon us shortly.
It's coming.
Off the top of the fourth for Michigan, center fielder number 0, Ryan Knable.
Ryan Knable has had a terrific regional, John. He's now 4 for 5, 4 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and 2 for 2 today. The top 5 of this Michigan lineup is terrific. Headed towards short. 1 out in the Michigan fourth on the throw by Keegan Jersley.
Boy, is he smooth at that shortstop position. Nice smile on his face here. You give him a good hop, not one of those bad hops off his chest, and he's going to make the play all the time. And accurate throw to get a speedy guy down that first base line in Knable.
Did you know he's the team's best dancer?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. He's got great feet, great hands. I can imagine he's got great rhythm.
Look out, Len, Carey, and Bruno of Dancing with the Stars. Maybe we'll get a chance to get him on tape here. Becoming a hot, steamy day in Westfield. Started off in the 70s. Temperature now bumped up 5 degrees to 82 and climbing. Rain forecasted starting at 10 tonight and going on at length tomorrow. But you know, it's the summertime in Indiana, so to be absolutely positively sure.
State Fair time, right?
Yes.
It's always hot at State Fair.
Just started last Friday. Michigan State Fair not until the end of the month, as kids don't go back to school until after Labor Day. Brennan Hill, what a regional he's had. He's 3 for 3. He's driven in 6. He has had 2 monster home runs. And Vahoyak being very careful with him. The count 3-0. He is earning some strong respect early in this regional.
Yes. The thing is there, he's earned it. You're right.
Here's Preston Bars, reached twice today on a hit and an error. Madger Lemansky visiting with his pitcher right now with a man at first and 1 out in the Michigan fourth. Indiana and Ohio coming up 1 o'clock.
Pitch count is 30.
It's Eastern time. Be fun to see Ohio for the first time, and of course we enjoyed watching Indiana last night in a 6-1 well-pitched and defended game against Kentucky.
Yeah, kind of, 4 games you switch Midwest to Great Lakes. You'd think you'd see everybody already, but that's not the case. We've still got new players to watch, new guys to talk about. It's exciting. Love being here this week. It's a great event every year. These people do a great job around here. Field's in perfect shape.
Diving stop at third base to get 1. Now the overthrow, and the runner is hung up. Question is, did he go out of the base path? I think he might have got tagged anyway, and that's a double play. If he didn't get tagged, the ruling is out of the base path. What do you think, John?
Oh, boy. Tough call right there because he's trying to get back to the bag, and he was out of the base path in the first place. So, I don't know. That's a hard call to make because he made the turn up the line down the right field. So, if anything, he was working his way back to the baseline to get back to the bag.
So, it's a most unusual double play. Begins with a force out after the diving stop by Davis Winter, which was a fine play. And then off the carom, perfectly positioned for True Thurs to get the tag. Now everybody's off the field as if we're going to the fourth, but hold everything. TV replay is going to come in and either confirm the call or overrule it. Right now, Kurt Barr's going to say, where could my runner have gone? I mean, he was in no man's land there, which was a natural turn for him.
Well, I guess does the baseline, the question, does the baseline now change to be where he, he was fighting to get back toward the baseline, it seemed like, so.
Give kudos to Davis Winter for that terrific stop. Call is going to stand, and with that, we are going to take a break. So it goes as a double play for the Wisconsin defense. 5-4 and then 3 in scoring. We're to the Wisconsin fourth, and J.J. Drews. But Monument Circle from looking up. Downtown Indianapolis, roughly 40 minutes away here from this beautiful Westfield ballpark. Plenty of sunshine in Indianapolis today. Temperatures there expected close to 90, as is here in Westfield. Jim Barber, John Gregory. Good to have you with us today. Been a highly entertaining game. Just about anything goes in terms of challenges, interference call. It's had a little bit of everything as we go to the Wisconsin fourth. And Wisconsin badly in need of some runs. First time to play Aiden Dykstra. And you asked the question that certainly has been on everybody's mind. Any relation to Lenny? Well, the world champion Mets many years back, and the answer to that is no. Nails. Remember his book?
Oh, yeah.
Chase Mazie has picked up where Brennan Hill had left off in terms of strikeouts. Hill got 5. Mazie's had 3 so far.
And he's bumping right up against that 35 pitch count right now. He's at 34. So we'll see. He'll get to start this batter. We'll see if they make a decision after
Pitch count is 34.
this next batter.
So to this point, Kurt Barr keeping one eye on the numbers. He's been able to use his pitching staff effectively if Michigan hangs on, gets a day off, and will play on Wednesday. Claudy with a fly ball to right field. One-handed catch, Brennan Hill, 2 outs. So Travis is retired. Michigan trying to get its first 3-up and 3-down inning. Hasn't been easy to come by, even with a 6-run lead.
Yeah,
by the way, with all the challenges we've had in the game officially, we've been informed from our crew is that Michigan has been unsuccessful twice, so it no longer has the opportunity to challenge. So, John, you've been keeping a close eye on that pitch count, and that will be it for Chase Mazie as Kurt Barr continues to work the numbers and to make sure all hands on deck if possible for Wednesday. Let's go back to the 2017 Great Lakes Championship, Michigan, Illinois.
Ground ball through for a base hit for Wisniewski. Green coming home. He will score. We're tied at 2. Throw gets away. It's 3-2. This is tagged to left. Has a chance. Gone. Home run. Boggs, the comebacker. Blob to first. And Michigan has won the ball game. Grosse Pointe is headed to Williamsport.
Perhaps headed back. Kurt Barr certainly got the tools here in 2017. That's the voice of our friend Clay Matvick. And Chris Burke will be the analyst as usual.
10 going to first.
Good baseball team presenting the game starting Thursday. John will get the rest of the month off to get ready for college football. Which, by the way, debuts in late August.
Yep.
As in later part of this month.
Yeah, right around the corner. What an effort by Chase Mazie. He moves over to first base. And boy, the luxury of being able to throw guys 35 pitches and then having a lead of 8-2 allows you to make those changes with confidence out on the mound and save all your arms.
Preston Barr, who has been at shortstop, now becomes the pitcher.
The Wisconsin batter, shortstop number 11, Keegan Jerschley.
Keegan Jerschley has reached twice today on a triple and on an error and has scored. Reggie Sharp now moves from second to shortstop. And that means we've got to fill in a second base spot, and that is Mr. Schaefer, who now moves to second base. And we're all set now with the 4 changes as Cam is safely in his position. In the meantime, Keegan is on base for the 3rd time today.
For Wisconsin, second baseman number 7, Taylor Lemansky.
Now you almost get the feel that Wisconsin could use a couple long ones to have a chance in this game. Kind of nickel and diming its way to scoring. And another hit batsman in this game. Lemansky now is plunked. Davis Winter earlier today hit on the helmet.
Yep, and that's the scary thing about taking a pitcher out. You've got to trust that the guy's coming in. And I'm sure Coach Barr trusts that. He's going to have those guys, but you never know what could happen in that situation.
Well, thank goodness for helmets, huh?
Yep.
R.J. Stroming with 2 aboard.
Well, you mentioned big things have to happen for this Wisconsin team. Well, for them to have any success, that top part of the lineup has to be productive. Well, regardless, the top 2 are on now.
A long one here would cut the 6-run deficit to 3. Wisconsin has but 2 hits in the game, but plenty of base runners. To this point, the Wausau state champions have left 5 and have 2 aboard, now with 2 outs. We're in the middle of 4th. 8-2 Michigan trying to advance to Wednesday's action. And the count of ball and 2 strikes.
And that's his pitch right there, that breaking ball that he can locate. Throws it with a lot of confidence.
Let's see if he comes back with it on 1-2. Good job of pitching. Strikeout recorded, inning over. Preston Barr in relief comes on and puts out the fire. 2/3 of the way through our first game of 4 today. Beautiful pitch. We're back. Let's recap the game, and let's start with the Michigan first. Ryan Knable, RBI double, part of a 3-run first, and that was capped by Brennan Hill's blast. Good for 2. Second hit of the tournament in terms of over the fence, and then Reggie Sharp followed with his second homer, part of a 4-run Michigan second. The difference in our game, 8-2 as we approach inning 5, and Aiden Dykstra takes over, John, for Wisconsin.
Dykstra 5'9", 143. Another guy that's not going to overpower you from that. He's a fastball only guy. He doesn't. I asked him, does he throw some type of off-speed pitch? And he said, no, they're just going to change speeds with his fastball.
Cam Worth now goes to left field. Davis Winter back to third base, though he has made a pretty fabulous stop early in the game. This one spanked towards center field, but playable, and somehow Turner Olson able to hang on and retire Henderson. That wasn't easy. 1 out.
Now that wind is blowing in from left field to right field. May have held that ball up just a bit. You can see the smile on his face. Not a big breeze out there, but that may have helped Olson able to corral that after coming in the first couple steps.
So Ryan Henderson is retired, 1 out in the Michigan 5th. Chase Mazie, who has thrown some today, getting a chance to bat for the second time. He's 1 for 3 in the tournament with a couple of strikeouts. Up in the jet stream toward right field. And dropping. Going to go as a base hit. As communication between second and right allows this one to drop home.
Michigan batter is the catcher, number 5, Jake Martin.
Said how important it is to communicate. Again, that situation where no man's land. Outfielder take it over, infielder take it over. He said, as they get older and older, those outfielders will learn how to call off the infielders, and it's the infielder's job to kind of get away so the outfielder knows that he's got control of it.
There's Taylor Lemansky, the second baseman, and Lucas Hager, the right fielder, that came together on that. Goes as a blue pit for Chase Mazie, who is now on his way to second base. And Wisconsin needs to be careful in this inning. This is where Michigan, with all its power, has a potential to break it open, and there is a 10-run rule. Not hovering yet, but certainly in effect should Michigan lead at the end of 5 by 10 or better. This is Jake Martin, who singled in the second and scored. He's 1 for 3 in the regional, and he's out on strikes. Which brings us back to the top of the order and the hard-hitting Reggie Sharp. He will turn 13 years of age in a little more than a month on September the 15th. Can play a bunch of different positions. Second base, short. He can also pitch. Sharply hit towards short. Retired here, inning over. Good inning for Wisconsin. Michigan, for the second straight inning, has failed to score. Wisconsin goes to the middle of its batting lineup when we come back.
It's the feeling like it's never gonna end. It's the reason.
Focused on fun, fitness, and fundamentals, the Little League journey starts with T-ball. Visit littleLeague.org/T-ball for our free 10-week practice plan to keep the youngest Little Leaguers moving, having fun, and learning the games of baseball and softball. John Gregory, Jim Barber, back on ESPN. First of 4 today, we're in the Great Lakes Regional.
Second base, number 9, Cam Schaefer.
Just ahead of that
And leading off the home half of the 5th inning for Wisconsin,
much appreciated and sought after New Albany versus New Albany battle between New Albany of Indiana and New Albany of Ohio. John, exactly how are we going to call that game?
By the state.
Yeah, which we typically do anyway.
Yes.
One of the players in their bio said, I want to play the other New Albany team. You got it, son. Later this afternoon in the Midwest Regional here on ESPN, Kansas, Minnesota. Tonight, Iowa and Fargo, North Dakota. North Dakota team put up 15 yesterday in a game shortened by the 10-run rule.
It's another team that looks very athletic. Up and down their lineup, a lot of depth there.
Turner Olson toward first base. Chase Mazie, 1 out.
Well, Mazie's doing it all for them on the defensive side of things, huh?
Yeah, he is. Here's Caden Worth, the left fielder, now to bat.
Not an easy play. You start thinking, boy, is it going to hit the bag or not? As a corner infielder, the one thing you want to do is make sure that ball does not get by you down the line, because that's an automatic double. Teach you sometimes late in ball games, you got to play the line on the corners to make sure in a close game. Not the case necessarily here, but make sure you don't let that get by you.
Just minus a gap or 2. Michigan has played defense well today. This one handled in left field by Oliver Service, 2 outs. Well, the really good teams in these regionals typically play sound defense. There is often a mistake or 2, but overcome usually by good pitching, sometimes excellent pitching, and strong hitting. Good breaking ball there. Hager actually moved away from it. Strike 1. Lucas struck out in the first and was the starting pitcher today for Wisconsin. Who's it going to be in Williamsport for the Great Lakes and for the Midwest? Well, certainly early indicators are that the Michigan team will have to be reckoned with, as it was last year. Torch short. 2 outs. Reggie Sharp checked that 3 outs, inning over. 3 up and 3 down. Last inning potentially coming up, and Jared Purify, the electric one, to lead off.
Travis Plotty. And moving from behind
First
the
inning
plate,
and a
third
half of this
base,
game has pretty much
RJ
decided things if this stands up. Michigan with 3 in the first, 4 in the second, 1 in the third. Wisconsin solo runs scored in the first and second. Michigan with 10 hits, Wisconsin with 2. Top 5 of the Michigan order, as expected, strong. 7 for 11. And Jaron Purify set to face Aiden Dykstra, and Purify has had a fabulous tournament so far. He's had 4 hits and 5 official at-bats.
Leading off the top
He
of the
has
sixth
a
for
double
Michigan,
and 2
third
triples.
baseman, number 6, Jaron Purify.
And he has scored 2 runs. Yes, he was picked off second base, but a minor detail in light of the fact that he has hit the ball so well and the fact his team is up 6. Towards center field and blasted. His sensational tournament continues. Arguably, John, best player on the field for any team.
Well, there's plenty of good players on this team when you're talking about Reggie Sharp up there, but just something about this kid that you could see the power. That didn't just clear the 225 fence out there. That cleared the second fence out there. Just quick. Defensively, he can do things. He can run around the bases quick. He's got all the ability. There's a couple guys on this team that have all those tools.
And it's worth mentioning again from his manager, Kurt Barnes, seconded by Coach Melissa Henderson, is that he's a terrific kid who works very hard. As this one has popped up a mile high for second baseman Taylor Lemansky, who handles it with one hand, 1 out. Oliver Service retired. So everything you like about Purify on the diamond, you can double it in terms of the kind of kid he is and the kind of personality he has.
Michigan center fielder.
R.J. Stroming has now moved from the catcher spot to third base.
Just a perfect example. It was just that pop-up there. Oliver Service hits up to the second baseman. He's rounding first base and passing him up. That's hustle. That's the things these coaches preach.
Ryan Knable all the way to the fence. He's had 1 extra base hit. He's got another one here, and look at him fly into third for a triple. Three hits in this game, now 5 in the regional for Ryan.
Michigan right
We're going to set a tournament record for 3 base hits.
Boy, this is the guy, you know, we mentioned Purify and mentioned Sharp, and how about Knable, though? His ability to run, too. We saw him on the mound, his ability to throw upwards to 72. He's got speed in the outfield. There are 3 guys that possess all the tools you want to be able to move on and play this game of baseball at a high level.
Top 5 now for Michigan with 9 hits in the game. All began with Ryan Knable's RBI double in the first. Brendan Hill followed with a 2-run homer. He's at the plate. He's already got 2 bombs in the 2 games. Reggie Sharp has had a home run. Jaron Purify has had a double, a triple, and a home run. If he gets the bat again in this inning, he's got a chance to hit for the cycle.
Please return that foul ball to the nearest dugout.
Ryan
Thank
Knable
you.
with 5 hits now in 7 at-bats. 3 runs batted in, 4 runs scored. 3-1 on Brennan Hill. Well, it's very simple to beat Michigan. Just get past the top 5.
Yeah, okay.
Hill is aboard. He has not been retired today. Back-to-back times he has walked. Might have been an old baseball book called Ball 4 by Jim Boughton, but they went over a scouting report on one of the teams they faced. I think it was the Yankees when he was with the Seattle Pilots expansion team. And by the time they got through the top 5, they had pitched around 5 guys and allowed 2 runs. And there was nobody out. It's kind of like what we have here. Preston Barr hit an unusual double play the last time up. Now to right field, base hit will score a run, and the Michigan bats now putting this thing out of reach. Long throw to third base. Runner now moving into second, and he is safe. So Hill takes an extra base. So does Preston Barr. Ryan Knable scores 2 more for Michigan.
Well, I just hit it the opposite way.
Number 9, Cam Schaefer.
Good heads-up base running, taking the extra base, sees the throw to third base. A nice play defensively to try to get him, but he just gets his foot in time, and that's taking the extra base. Another thing that this Michigan team does well is just take that extra base when they can.
Cam Schaefer at the plate. Bounce toward third. They'll freeze the runner at third. Now he's coming home, and he will score. Another runner around third's going to try it, and he'll score. Michigan not only lethal with the bats, but also on the bases, taking every extra base that it almost feels like it's entitled to.
Yeah, well, they put so much pressure on the defense. They force you to make a perfect throw because of their speed and ability to put that pressure on you. It's so much harder for a defense, and you see the throws have to be accurate, and they're off just a bit. They're going to be able to beat the throw there.
This one headed towards second. Should end the inning, and does. Last of the Wisconsin 6th coming up, as Michigan plays 4 here in the top of the inning. In case you're wondering what's up next for Michigan, which is about to be 2-0, it will move to Wednesday's game at 2 o'clock here on ESPN against the winner of Ohio, Indiana. And Wisconsin will move to the losers bracket to play tomorrow night against Kentucky, which was beaten by Indiana last night. Michigan now in the tournament has scored 19 runs on 23 hits. Two-thirds will lead off the Wisconsin 6th, 0 for 1.
Re-entering now playing second base, number 4, Marwin Matthews. Re-entering
Marlon Matthews goes to second base.
Ryan Henderson. And re-entering in left field, number 8, Elliott Naderhood.
So everybody getting a chance to play here.
Wisconsin to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Number 1, True, third.
Marcus McDonald now will check that true thirds again at the plate. And that should be Henderson, number 2 at first base. Now McDonald, Ryan Henderson. And Niederhood. Elliott moves to left field. Ball and 2 strikes. 1 out in the Wisconsin 6th, the Michigan 2 outs away. Wisconsin's has left 7, but frankly, Michigan's strikeout ability here has kept this score as lopsided it has been throughout the entire game.
Entering the game for Wisconsin now hitting number 9,
Yeah,
J.J. Drew.
Guys coming in to pitch after 35 pitches, they're switching it up, and guys coming in, including the Bar, doing a nice job throwing strikes, keeping their pitch totals down, giving them an opportunity to throw as many innings as they can without having to make another change. But the good thing about it is when you have a comfortable lead, the ability to do that gets everybody a chance to work off of that mound and get comfortable out there, and that's just going to help you through the remaining part of this tournament if needed.
Good point. Preston Barr, the coach's son, the manager's son. Be 13 next week. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 6th. Michigan gets to enjoy the rest of this day and tomorrow off before coming back Wednesday. I think it'll be well-deserved.
Yep, and that's exactly what they said beforehand. They were like, if we can win this game, and that was if we can win this game, that'll give us an opportunity to rest, stay out of the heat this afternoon, and really kind of just enjoy those first 2 wins.
Kind of picking up with Grosse Pointe, Woods Shores left off last year, beating Illinois for the Great Lakes Regional Championship. Last hope for Wisconsin, Davis Winter. Fifth consecutive game that the team that has scored first will win. Game over. Preston Barr strikes out the side. And Michigan, as good as it looked yesterday, even better today, John.
Yeah, pretty impressive. 12 runs on 13 hits. And for Wisconsin, boy, they've just run into a buzzsaw here. Is this Michigan team pretty good? But remember, we said the fight in Wisconsin, they're not done after losing 3 games in the districts and coming back and winning the semifinals and the state championship. They've got plenty of fight in them.
Let's take a look at the Great Lakes regional standings. Michigan right now on top, having played 2 games and won them by scores of 7-2 and 12-2. New Albany of Ohio, the only team that hasn't played in the Great Lakes. You will see them in an hour taking on New Albany of Indiana. So Michigan, little time off. Now we'll face the Ohio winner Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock on ESPN. And tomorrow night at 7 on ESPN, Kentucky and Wisconsin will play. For John Gregory, Jim Barber. Come back and jump around with us in about an hour for Game 2 of 4 back in the Great Lakes. Here live today from Westfield on ESPN.